Welcome to the City of Dunwoody's Purchasing Card Policies Training Module. Over the next few minutes, this presentation will brief you on the purpose and overview of the city's purchasing card policies, the primary uses of the purchasing card, the structure of the program's administration, the roles and responsibilities of program participants, and some of the specific uses of the card, and the role of you, the cardholder. We will also touch on issues of program compliance and legal concern. The purpose of the City of Dunwoody's purchasing card policy is to establish appropriate and inappropriate uses of the Dunwoody purchasing card, sometimes referred to as the P card. All purchases made with the P card must be for official city business. The P card is a charge card designed to enable authorized city employees to make small value purchases of supplies, materials, equipment, and services for city business use. The program streamlines payments by eliminating the administrative burdens and costs associated with traditional methods of payment. The P card program utilizes a Visa purchasing card issued by Bank of America. Whenever this module mentions the bank, it is referring to Bank of America. All cardholders are required to use the Works Payment Manager or Works system provided by the bank for card administration and monthly billing statement reconciliation. The City Cards Program Manager approves all participation in the program. All card program official forms mentioned in the purchasing card policy can be found on the City Cards Program Manager's shared drive. The versions on the City of Dunwoody's website will always be the latest versions of the forms. Under no circumstances is a cardholder permitted to use the P card for anything other than official city business. Using the P card for personal or fraudulent purchases may result in disciplinary action, up to and including termination from city employment and criminal prosecution. Supervisors or other approving officials who knowingly or through willful neglect approve personal or fraudulent purchases are subject to the same disciplinary actions as cardholders. The citywide administration for Dunwoody's purchasing card program is headed up by the City Cards Program Manager. The City Cards Program Manager has many duties, which include developing the city purchasing card policy, reviewing the policy at least annually to ensure that it is in keeping with best practices, working with other program users to determine new ways that the P card can be used, serving as a central point of contact on all issues of policy and procedure, communicating all program and policy changes to program users, reviewing or assigning designees to review all requests for exceptions to this policy, developing and maintaining program forms, and developing and maintaining citywide training materials and manuals. The Finance Director shall require periodic reviews of the program users. Reviews take a risk-based approach and focus on the level of compliance with city policy, adequacy of and compliance with internal policies and procedures, and evaluation of internal controls. The Finance Director receives reports providing an assessment of the program, makes recommendations for improvement when warranted, and works with the program personnel to implement action plans to make corrections or other improvements to the program. In certain cases where it is determined that internal controls are not adequate, the Finance Director may require policy improvements and/or place other restrictions on the local card program until such controls are developed, documented, and implemented. For the sake of professional development, the City Cards Program Manager assists in developing and delivering training on the P-Card program on a city-wide basis. The bank is responsible for the implementation and initial training on the Works system. The City Cards Program Manager will provide additional training as needed. The purchasing agent usually serves as the City Cards Program Manager, although any or all of the following administrative responsibilities may be delegated to one or more others by the City Manager, depending on the size and complexity of the program. The administrative responsibilities of the City Cards Program Manager include ensuring compliance with the City Purchasing Card Policy, providing for unique needs based on mission, defining responsibilities of program personnel, defining criteria for obtaining a P-card, and defining acceptable use of the P-card that cannot be less restrictive than the City Purchasing Card Policy. The City Cards Program Manager must also provide a method for reporting suspected misuse or fraudulent use, list in detail consequences of misuse or fraudulent use, create a provision for review of the internal policy for adequacy at least annually, and create a provision for audit or other independent review of all areas of program administration and transactions at least annually. Supervisors or other persons assigned the responsibility of reviewing cardholder transactions must have a thorough knowledge of the job responsibilities of the cardholders under his or her supervision, in order to determine if purchases are reasonable in terms of types of purchases made. Before approving the purchasing card log and monthly billing statement, the supervisor must carefully review all documentation. In the performance of his or her responsibilities, the supervisor must maintain knowledge of City Purchasing Card Policy and internal policies and procedures on use of the P-card, request P-cards for cardholders under his or her supervision, notify the finance director when a cardholder resigns, transfers, or is terminated from employment, monitor transactions and card activity to ensure that all purchases are for legitimate city business use, and review all documentation to ensure all purchases are for legitimate city use. All cardholders are de facto purchasing agents for the City of Dunwoody. Accordingly, all cardholders must have a minimum understanding of city purchasing policies, city purchasing division rules, and regulations as contained on the shared drive. Cardholders must also be familiar with the provisions of the Employee Handbook regarding City Employee Code of Ethics and conflicts of interest. Cardholder responsibilities include maintaining security of the account number, expiration date, and security code at all times, maintaining knowledge of City Purchasing Card Policy and internal policies and procedures, ensuring all purchases are allowable purchases according to City and internal purchasing card policies, ensuring all purchases comply with purchasing requirements and competitive bidding, and obtaining best value for the city when making purchases with the P-card. An additional responsibility of the cardholder is to maintain, for his or her P-card, all documentation required by city and internal purchasing card policies. Minimum documentation requirements include a monthly or weekly transaction log as determined by the finance director and purchasing volume, and an itemized receipt of invoice. If a receipt has been lost and a duplicate cannot be obtained, the local purchasing agent can determine if internal policy will allow use of the lost receipt affidavit. If allowed, a single cardholder can use the form no more than 3 times in one fiscal year. Use of the form more than 3 times in one fiscal year will result in suspension of card privileges. So, remember your receipts. Remember to sign the transaction log and the monthly billing statement. All signatures must be original signatures. Signatures made with rubber stamps are prohibited. Cardholders must submit all documentation to the supervisor or other approving official by internally established deadlines in order to ensure timely payment of the monthly billing statement. What should the cardholder do if their card is lost or stolen? Call the administrator immediately, call the bank immediately, and also notify the finance director via email.